was probably the most expensive piece of meat I've ever paid for in my life, and I felt guilty. And you said,
I thought Stormy Daniels was. Let's try to have a little fun here and talk some music, Richard.
yeah.
Do you still speak with Trent Reznor? Do you guys have
Oh,
any relation?
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did the reunion with Trent in Cleveland
Mm-hmm.
with Nine Inch Nails, and he was so awesome. He actually had me play Hey Man, Nice Shot with Nine Inch Nails.
That's
So,
so
I
cool.
mean, we're great friends, and we text all the time. And I'm looking forward. He's going to have a show here in September, and I'm going to go to it, and it's going to be a good time.
You know, I was in Hawaii a few years ago, and I think I texted you this. I was just at
Mhm.
some open mic, and a really talented musician was up there singing some alternative rock songs. And he gets up there and he sings "Take a Picture," and
That's awesome.
I texted it to you. This was a couple of years ago, and I think you texted me back something like, "That's when you know you made it." Right when people are
Yeah.
playing your song, what does that feel like to you, Richard? When I mean, I was in San Diego last month, and I think I sent you a video. I'm just walking around in this outdoor indoor mall, and they're playing "Take a
Mhm.
Picture," and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's like, what does that feel like? It's like if someone played my show everywhere, you know, like it's just so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, well, it's wild. I have made some music that really has connected with people, and I think it's awesome. And it's you know it I you know I mean that was the goal when I left Nine Inch Nails. I was like, I just wanted to kind of have my own platform to
Right.
sing,
Yeah.
and man, it worked out. Because
It worked out pretty well. Yeah.
that was a pretty ballsy move to leave Nine Inch Nails before they even got even
Yeah.
huger. Like they
Oh,
became massive.
I think your decision was
Yeah.
spot on with what you did. The story's interesting, but I
Hmm.
had to ask you about this. Everybody our age or even in their 30s and 40s have heard of the movie or watched the movie The Cable Guy. There's a very famous scene in
Yeah.
The Cable Guy where Jim Carrey dunks the basketball, and throughout this entire scene, they're blasting, "Hey man, nice shot." Can
Yeah.
you explain to the listeners how "Hey man, nice shot" got in the movie The Cable Guy?
Ben Stiller was a friend of my brother Robert, and Robert had suggested, Ben, you should check out my brother's band Filter, and Ben was like, oh, I know Filter. So Ben Stiller literally was in the mosh pit during our performance in Los Angeles, and they raised him up, and he was crowd surfing. He was crowd surfing to "Hey Man, Nice Shot," and I think he remembered how much he liked "Hey Man, Nice Shot," and he wrote it into the script
That's
and
so awesome.
used it as a song. And it was a really really sweet thing that he did, because it gave us more exposure, and this is back when they really paid you a lot of money too back then.
And that's
And
my favorite scene in the movie. It's the scene when
yeah,
Jim Carrey breaks
yeah,
the window backboard dunking and
over Jack Black,
right. And I love Jack
over
Black.
Jack Black. Everybody loves Jack Black. Yeah,
I love Jack Black. That's such
yeah,
a funny scene. And I just
yeah.
every time I hear that song, I'm always thinking about The Cable Guy. Always.
Mhm.
No, it's
Yeah.
a great song. When you write a song like that, when you're writing a song like "Take a Picture," or
Mhm.
you're singing it in the studio, you hear the final piece for the first time.
Mhm.
Do you know right away, man, that's going to be a hit? Like, do you feel it?
When I wrote the guitar part to "Take a Picture," and I got to the chorus and I
Mm.
said, "Hey, could you take my picture because I won't remember?" I just was like, that's a hit. I was like, this is a hit song. And I kept championing it in the recording process, because everybody was like, what are you doing? It's so light and airy and beautiful, and I'm like, it's luscious. And that was the reason why I wanted to sing about like the crazy lyrics of like being an alcoholic and like having problems and stuff, because the music was kind of like the effect of being on drugs. Like it's this beautiful, soft, wonderful world. But like the lyrics are all about the reality of like, okay, so you can't remember this because you're gonna be hungover, and you're blacked out or whatever. And could you take my picture because I won't remember? It's all about this, so. And I really didn't even know at the time that it was so much about like alcoholism. But when I got sober and I look back at it, I was like, this was a cry for help.
Yeah, and you
The
were
song was
close to, you were very close to, speaking of a cry for help, the late Chester Bennington and Chris
yes.
Cornell. You had mentioned that Chris Cornell saved your life in rehab, and now we've lost, we lost
Yeah.
two incredible musicians that were very close friends of yours. That had to be
Yeah.
very difficult for you.
It was awful. Chris was he was in the rehab when I got there, and he says, dude, I don't know if I'm dead and I'm in heaven, but like there's blonde girls walking around here. There's a chef in the kitchen making us an amazing meal. They're giving us Klonopins or whatever, because you have to come down from the the alcohol and the drugs, so they give you like Xanax and Klonopins that relax your nervous system.
Right.
And he's like, maybe this is heaven. And then I had like the realization that it was a 12-step program, and I'm not a very religious person. And I was thinking about like leaving, and he goes, Richard, don't leave. This is the only game in town that really works. And like
Wow. That's
you have to give
powerful.
this a shot.
And
And so he kept,
you were at his funeral, right? You were
oh
there.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Chester Bennington, of course, he
Sang that
sang a
night.
song there, and
Yeah.
then not that much longer later, he takes his own life. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's so sad.
Alcohol. And there's no, they were both drunk when they did it. They were both on drugs when they did their their their
You
suicides.
you think
And
Cornell was
I
suicide, or do you think it was unintentional?
no, I think it was probably a suicide. I mean,
Mm,
he was playing at the show in Detroit, and you can see on the video from the show that Kim was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you like high?" And Chris was noticeably kind of out of it.
mhm.
And he you could tell that there was probably, that's the thing. I mean, Chris was using drugs and alcohol, and he was and I just remember it was something like, I just remember him saying like, I'm going to take out the middleman if I ever fall back into drugs and alcohol, meaning I'll get rid of the drugs and alcohol. I'll just make it easy. I'll just kill myself,
It's
kind
so
of thing.
horrible. It's so sad. What a talented man, and a beautiful family. Another band
Yeah.
that you were a part of, and I see some people in the chat right now saying, I miss Army of Anyone. That was
Hmm.
Richard as the lead singer with the DeLeo brothers from Stone Temple Pilots. But, Scott Weiland,
Yeah.
overdoses. I don't think that was
Yeah.
intentional. There's another guy that really,
That was unintentional.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he suffered. And
Scott suffered horribly from
yeah,
alcohol and drugs. He really, really had, and we used to fight like online. And like
you and Scott.
I got into a thing where someone was recording my conversation, and they were like doing an interview, and I was fed up with it, and I just was truthful, and I said, what's it going to take for Scott to get sober? Because I mean, like and then they showed a video of his performance in Michigan, which was just really bad. He was
Yeah,
so out of it.
yeah.
And he later ended up dying. But it's the people have to realize drugs and alcohol, like when you're an addictive person, it's a disease.
Yep.
It's an absolute disease. And we can't blame these guys. They just suffered horribly from drug and alcohol
No, you're
addiction.
right. You're right.
And I mean, whether it's Kurt Cobain, Kurt didn't want to kill him. Like Kurt was so high on drugs that you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
get to this place where you just get defeated, by like, I can't live without it. And it becomes so frustrating and awful that you just feel like taking your life. And I got to admit, right before I got sober, I was like not happy with my life. I was looking around like, that building's tall. If I made it up to the top of that building, I could probably kill myself off it. Your
Thank God
mind
you
just
said that. Thank
your
God.
mind goes to these places, and you start making a plan.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, are you seriously
Yeah.
considering in your head? Like, are you serious? And so when I
Well,
got sober,
yeah.
I just took it very seriously. I
It's
want
why
to,
I don't like it. It's why I don't like it, Richard, when people commit suicide, and then others that don't know them make, oh, how could you do this? You left behind a family and kids. Well, yeah, it's horrible, but you have no idea the pain that this person's going through, and the money you have or how famous you are has no difference in that moment. It doesn't matter how successful you are, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what
Chris had everything. Chris wrote one of the most definitive records of all time, The Super Unknown.
Sure. Yep.
One of the greatest records of all time. He was best friends with Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a beautiful wife. He lived in Beverly Hills. You know,
he had everything.
He had absolutely everything, and he was not happy. And that's what the disease is. The disease makes you sick in your head, and so when he found out he was dying, or when I found out he was dead, I just completely lost it, because he was the guy that kept me in rehab,
saved your life
when I was there. And so, but see, for me as a recovering alcoholic, there, by the grace of God, like, if I'm not careful and if I don't keep a rigid stance on my sobriety, if I don't keep a serious program on my sobriety, there will I go. Maybe I'll drink and think it's okay to get wasted once, and next thing you know, I'm off the deep end. And so I learned. You have to learn from what your friends are doing in this program. I'm not going to mention the name of it, but it's a program of it's an anonymous program of people that want to stay sober together, and that's what it teaches you. This program teaches you that, like, death is real and it's all around the corner. And, like, I mean, you go to a meeting, you go to one of these meetings, and like, so and so, remember that little 25-year-old girl that she hung herself. Like, what?
So horrible.
It's so terrible. So
you never know what somebody's going through, and
I also wanted to mention to people that are hearing me, if you're suffering from alcoholism, like, there is hope. You can get sober. I've done it, and I was wildly out of control on alcohol and booze and drugs and stuff like that.
I am so glad that you got the help you needed, Richard, and you've been doing so good. On a lighter note, I could say I'm wondering, what do people do when they have Trump fellatio syndrome? I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. I apologize, Richard. Terrible joke. There's a lot of people that I know that I debate on the Piers Morgan show that have that disease. I don't think you can cure that, Richard. I don't think you can. I definitely want
to. It's like trying to tell someone there is no God. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a bit of an atheist, but, like, if someone really believes something, they're just going to believe it, and that's their reality. And so you just have to accept the fact that some people aren't going to change. They're just not going to.
Unfortunately, as you once told me, you were the one that told me this. You can't help people that do not want to be helped. You told me that after I lost a loved one, and it rings true to me today, Richard. Hey, before I let you go, I love this new mix album you got going on, Algorithm. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you put this album together and how people could get their hands on it?
So the original version of the Algorithm came out a couple years ago, and it wasn't promoted properly. So we got it back from the old record company, and we re-released it with 5 new remixes, 2 covers, and a new song called All the Good. And it's basically the Algorithm Ultra Edition. And it's an amazing new piece of music that we've got. We remastered it so it was in analog, so it's a little deeper and richer sounding. And it's just awesome. The response from the fans has been they love it, and they want us to make vinyl versions and CD versions and everything like that. So we're gonna try and make a bunch of that. But it's been streaming and it's already got millions and millions of streams. And we're really proud of it. So it's the Algorithm, the Ultra Edition, Algorithm Ultra Edition, and it's available anywhere you can stream music. And it's got heavy music and soft music. I do this beautiful cover of, I'm really proud of it, a cover of A Sort of Homecoming from U2.
Yep.
and it's a tribute. It's me literally replaying all their instruments as tightly as I possibly could, and
Yeah.
then I sang it, and people were like, "Wow, you better bring your A game if you're gonna sing Bono. You know, if you're gonna recreate, if you're gonna cover Bono." So I
Yes.
did, and
I love it. I love it.
I think I nailed the performance,
It's
and
It's phenomenal. My favorite.
yeah.
You did a great job. My favorite song on that album has always been "Obliteration." I love it.
Right.
I listen to that song almost every day, and of
Yeah.
course, your songs from way back when. "Welcome to the Fold" is one of my favorite ones as well.
Mhm.
I'm old, Richard. I usually don't move around too much at concerts, but when you start playing "Welcome to the Fold," I lose my, you know what, I go crazy for that. But
That's awesome.
yeah, always do at your shows, my man. And I can't wait till you come back to Vegas. By the way, for the record, I did help Richard win money at the blackjack table last time he was in Vegas. I just wanted
Yes,
to brag.
you did. We went to, what was that restaurant?
It was like a steakhouse at Mandalay Bay, right? We grabbed
It was
a
a
dinner.
steakhouse.
Yeah,
It
you can
was the
tell the
most
story.
expensive. It was probably the most expensive piece of meat I've ever paid for in my life, and I felt guilty. And you said,
I thought Stormy Daniels was. I'm sorry, terrible joke. Go ahead. That was 130,000. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm very immature, Richard. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I paid for, oh wow, that was good. I bought this steak that was so expensive, and I felt a little guilty, and you're like, no problem, let's go to the blackjack table. And we won back like 300 or 400 bucks or
Yep.
something, and I paid for the meal, and I was like, and you were so awesome. You were so good at gambling, dude. Like, you really have a talent. Like, there's a lot of talents with you, man.
There's a lot of
You get,
talents and there's a lot of things I'm really bad at. Okay.
yeah.
Really bad at. We are very similar when it comes to that stuff. There's
Mhm.
things I'm really good at and there's things I'm really bad at. But
Mhm.
Richard, everyone out there has got to get this algorithm. It's so great. The cover of you two that you did is amazing. It's so
Mhm.
great. I love it. I love the original Algorithm album, and this
Mhm.
is even better. So it's so cool. Hopefully, I know you just had some surgery, but hopefully you'll get back
And
after touring again.
yeah, well, I'm gonna heal up. I got this neck issue I got to deal with, but there's, for the song Obliteration, there's 3 remixes.
Yeah.
One's done by Sean Bevan, another one's done by Charlie Clouser from Nine Inch Nails, and
And you did
Sean
one.
worked in Nine Inch Nails, and then I did a remix
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So the Obliteration's well represented
Yep.
and reimagined on the record. So
I love it.
definitely check it out. Yeah.
I love it. Richard, you're a brilliant musician. It's why you've been one of my favorite musicians since I was like in middle school, dude. So to be friends with you is certainly awesome. And thanks for being a good friend. And I appreciate you coming on as always. Maybe I'll see you out there in California next week, my man. But always
got it.
Always fun talking to you, Richard.
Hit me up, and yeah, absolutely. You're awesome. I love your show. Keep up
Thanks.
the good work, and stay awesome and stay positive, and yeah, all the good
Thanks,
stuff.
Richard. Regards to you and your family. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Richard's brother is Robert Patrick, the very famous actor from the bad guy Terminator movies and Sopranos.
Yeah.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Richard. Good to see you, my friend.
And he's in Peacemaker.
Cool. He is such.
And that just came out last night. So check out Peacemaker on HBO Max, and he's
I gotta meet your brother one of these days, man. What a brilliant actor. He's so amazing. Thanks, Richard.
He's a hoot. He's a lot of fun.
I heard he's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Good to have you on, Richard. We'll see you soon. All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. That's Richard Patrick, everybody. There's a lot of nice people in the chat that are very familiar with his music. That was a fun interview.